Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Letterboxd diaries, as I used to call it. I'm actually changing that now, so I've simplified it to just what I've watched. So basically, it's still the Letterboxd diaries. I'll just do a run through on Letterboxd, give you a little peek and insight into what I've been watching over the past month. So this is going to be for December 2023. We'll get started in a sec. This is my profile page, so I've got some bits on there. Did a review for The Mean One, which I watched. I wasn't too impressed with that, but, wasn't the worst film in the world. It was just not the type of film I'm really into. I mean, it could have been, but it was low budget, but not done very well, and that's The Mean One. But the Grinch character himself was brilliant, played by David Howard Thornton. I mean, he was great in it, like he is as Art the Clown in Terrifier. But just wasn't keen on the film as a whole. Low budget can go either way. You can either get a gem that's low budget or it's done really well, especially like cheesy 80s low budget stuff's very endearing and enjoyable, but with modern low budget stuff it tends to be a load of rubbish a lot of the time, especially with horror. Anyway, let's start from the beginning of December. So 1st of December I watched the 4K Scream Factory release of The Blob, the remake, 1988. I've actually never seen the original Blob, but this was fantastic in 4K. I mean, it looked really good. Very, very well done 4K UHD by Scream Factory. Yeah, it's a remake of the 1958, as it says there, the Blob film. I think it's got Steve McQueen in it. There's a look at the new poster art. That looks really nice. That was what was from the Steelbook. Director Chuck Russell. Let's have a look what other films he's done, actually. So, directed by Chuck Russell, and he has done... Oh, so he did The Mask. I didn't know that. I don't really know much about Chuck Russell, but he's done some really good films. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, one of my favourites. Scorpion King, Eraser. I think that's a Schwarzenegger film. And others, yeah. Didn't know he did The Mask. So, The Mask has the same director as the Blob remake. Oh, great. Yeah, fantastic film. Just a retelling of the Blob story, like with new characters, and it's got some great special effects and stuff. Some great 80s fun there. So, rewatched that on the... Was it the 1st? Yes. Also, a bit later on the 1st, I watched Satan's Blade, which was also a rewatch. Yeah, Satan's Blade. It's a good low-budget slasher. I've got the arrow, and 1984. It's about this group of people, basically. They go to stay in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. There's this old legend about an man from the past who's basically comes back to haunt the woods, and people start getting knocked off. Yeah, good fun. If you like your low-budget slashers, definitely give Satan's Blade a go. Watch The Killing Tree, which is a Christmas film. I think it's the same directors as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Let's have a look. Yeah, I believe it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. Hold on. Yeah, so from the creators and director of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, you have The Killing Tree. I like this a lot more than Winnie the Pooh. I thought Winnie the Pooh was pretty poor. It's just a guys in piglet and Winnie the Pooh masks. That's what it looks like. The intro to that film was great. The little story part where they're telling what's happened to the animals at the 100 Acre Wood. But The Killing Tree was a much better film. Low budget nonsense, absolute idiocy. It's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. It's about this killer who gets resurrected, his soul does, and he uses a Christmas tree as a vessel, and he goes on a rampage trying to get revenge on this girl who's responsible for his death. That's The Killing Tree. A lot of fun. I do recommend that one if you like crappy, like low budget horror films. A lot of fun, The Killing Tree. Just click back a little bit. I won't go into too much detail with them all. I watched Black Christmas from 1974, the original Bob Clark movie. Yeah, just stellar classic. Suspense, good story, good atmosphere. Can't go wrong with Black Christmas. Watch The Cat in the Hat. Knows a lot about Christmas. Basically a kid's animation. I just had it on my iTunes account. I don't know why. I went on a bit of an sort of Christmas themed movie rampage last year and just downloaded loads of like horror films, low budget ones, and like family animations. I wasn't too keen on it. As you can see, I gave it 2.5. On the 5th, I watched The Picnic at Hanging Rock. This was excellent. First time watch for me. 1975 film. Group of private college students, all girls at an all-girls school, go missing when they visit Hanging Rock. They go together as a class with their teachers and whatnot, and the caretaker and the bus driver. 4 of them go off up to the rock, where it's got lots of an old rock, and they go up there, and basically they start like getting all philosophical and talking in depth about like the universe and life and stuff, and then they just vanished, and there's no trace of them. I won't give too much away because it's a very mysterious, intriguing film, but yeah, Picnic at Hanging Rock, absolutely brilliant. Love that. That was a great pickup. Deck the Halls, Danny DeVito, and who's the other guy? I can't remember. Matthew Broderick, old Ferris from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's the film where they're competing with their Christmas lights. Yeah, it's all right. I've seen it a few times. Twins of Evil. There's a video for that on the channel. That was a pick by you guys. I did a poll in December at some point, the last one of last year, and you guys picked Twins of Evil. It's a Hammer film. I thought it was great. It's got Peter Cushing in there. It's a Wonderful Knife is a new Shudder original from 2023. I quite liked it. It's like a slasher with the same concept of It's a Wonderful Life. What if I never existed, and the girl comes back, and yeah, it was enjoyable. As you can see, it's got I picked one of the funny covers, as you can get various different cover arts on Letterboxd. You can see you got Michael Myers there in the It's a Wonderful Life poster for It's a Wonderful Knife. Quite enjoyed it. Not the best thing I've seen, but yeah, it's okay. Has Justin Long in it as well from Jeepers Creepers and Tusk. He's always a fun guy to watch. Christmas Evil, watched that on the 10th. Yeah, Christmas classic. I love Christmas Evil. Can't go wrong with a bit of Christmas Evil. It's gradually becoming one of my favourite Christmas horror films. Easily one of the best, and it's easily a top 5. I watched So Sweet So Perverse. That was a great sleazy kind of giallo style like thriller. Really good, very twisty. Mardi Gras Massacre, I enjoyed that. That's from 1978. I went on a bit of a giallo and sleazy slasher binge in the middle of December, and I also watched for the first time Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key from 1972. This was very good. As you can see, I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, about this man and his wife, and people start being killed, and he's possibly one of the suspects. It's also an adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat, another take on it, but it's not like the other ones. It has a similar ending to the other Black Cat movies, as you can see there. Got a sexy lady there. That's Edwidge Fenech, I think she's called. She's a good actress. I watched a few of her films actually when I had this little binge. Quite enjoying them. Yeah, so good film that. I rewatched The Santa Claus. Yeah, just a bit of Christmas fun. Tim Allen. Yeah, it's alright. Death Walks on High Heels from 1971. That was pretty good. Good giallo. Took me a while to get around to watching that. And then Death Walks at Midnight. They're not they're not really linked as such. They just have the same actress in them, and I think they're the same director as well. Yeah, Luciano Ercole, I think it's pronounced. Yeah, pretty good. Give them a go. Don't want to give too much away. They've got twists in there and stuff. And yeah, so Death Walks on High Heels and At Midnight. You can pick up Arrow Video Blu-rays of those. Case of the Bloody Iris, another great giallo. This young woman's escaped her boyfriend, who had her as part of a cult, a sex cult or whatever. She's trying to she's doing modelling and stuff and trying to move on, and yeah, there's a killer out there knocking people around her off in the apartment complex, and all is revealed later on in the film. Great poster there for it as well. That's a Case of the Bloody Iris. And I also watched Strange Vices The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. This was very good as well. Sergio Martino, good director. He did Your Vice is a Locked Room as well, which I watched. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Very good indeed. She's what is she, an ambassador, a diplomat's wife or ambassador's wife, being a bit sort of terrorised by her ex-boyfriend, and there's a violent killer on the prowl in the area, and women are getting murdered, and yeah, really good film, and the twist at the end is very good as well. Very good twist in that film, Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. Do love a good giallo, like all the twists and everything. December, a collection of shorts, Christmas themed from 2019. Thought it was a load of rubbish, a load of old nonsense, and not in a good way. A Cadaver Christmas, also known as Zombies at Christmas, rubbish film. And I'm not just saying that because it's low budget. I like low budget stuff. It was a low budget one. They didn't do it very well. It wasn't done very well. Some of the gore was okay in special effects. Not got a problem with that. The characters, though, couldn't get on board with them, relate to them, or like them even as characters. I just found it pretty boring. Bar the gore. Some of the gore was okay, but pretty run-of-the-mill zombie fare. And it is from 2011, and that's when there was a big, a big kind of like epidemic of like zombie movies as well. Got The Warriors on 4K from Arrow. Watched that. Fantastic disc. Transfer looks superb. Film's great. Seen it numerous times. Gave it 4.5 out of 5. That's normally my rating. There's a look at the poster for it that I've got on here. The Warriors. Can you dig it? You know, most of you will probably know The Warriors, so I don't really need to go on too much about that, but great film nonetheless. Mickey's Christmas Carol from 1983. It's about 26 minutes, if that. I did watch that and I enjoyed it. It's one from my childhood, so I've got a soft spot for Mickey's Christmas Carol. It's a nice sort of short movie. Silent Night, Deadly Night, rewatch this. It's a staple of my Christmas horror viewing. 1984, fantastic film. And look at that poster too. Whoa. Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Fucking love it. Excuse my language. But yeah, I did enjoy rewatching that. It's probably the most fun I've had watching it as well. It's a film that really, it gets better every time I watch it. And I only watch it once a year as well, which is enough. Once a year is enough. But like, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original short from 1966. I enjoyed this. I watched it on Christmas Eve. Yeah, you know the story of the Grinch. When he steals Christmas, this is the original short based on the Dr. Seuss book. Another short movie I watched, and that is Father Christmas. It's a British one from the early 90s, 1991. Same guy as who did Raymond Briggs, I think it is. The animator or whatever. It's based on a Raymond Briggs book, and so is The Snowman. Directed by Dave Unwin. I don't know if he did The Snowman or not. Doesn't look like he did, but Raymond Briggs did the Snowman book as well, and he also did Father Christmas. Yeah, great little Father Christmas short. It's about half an hour long, really funny, really kind of like charming. Shows Father Christmas in his downtime outside of Christmas itself, and he goes travelling. He ends up in France and stuff, Scotland, Las Vegas, goes all over, and then it's back to dealing with his naughty and nice list and getting presents out there for Christmas. Yeah, great film. I watched a really short one. This is like a 10-minute short. That is Santa's Workshop from Disney, and that's from 1932. Yeah, really, really charming, endearing little short, that one. Bit later on Christmas Day, and you might ask, why the hell did he watch this movie on Christmas Day? Because I thought I wanted to get the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels that I haven't seen in. So I went to Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 a bit later after dinner when things quietened down after, all the Christmas activities and stuff. Put this on. It was awful, I thought. Big fan of the first film. Loved the first film. One of the best Christmas horrors out there. Second film I'm not too keen on. But this third one was bloody awful. It does actually have Bill Moseley in it as the killer. And I didn't even enjoy him that much because he didn't have any dialogue barely. Basically a mute. But yeah, not very good. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better watch out. it continues the story of Billy's brother Ricky, Ricky from the sequel Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2, and a young woman who's got some sort of like, some sort of mild psychic abilities, and she's the killer comes after Ricky, and he's basically mute now. It just wasn't very good, like, quite simply. I've not even ever heard good things about these from anybody, but I do have the Vestron set with them in 3, 4 and 5. I need to get around to 4 and 5 next year. God knows if I'll like them. I don't know. On the 28th, watched Hellraiser again in 4K. What can I say? Sorry. Hellraiser's such a good movie. Directed by Clive Barker, based on his book, and it's the first one in the franchise. It's so good. It's a simple horror movie, about like Frank trying to become whole again. So Frank basically, some blood is, I'm not going to give too much away, but some blood is spilt in the attic. Frank's sort of heart's underneath the floorboards, and then the more blood that drains down there puts basically flesh on Frank's bones. So Frank keeps getting more human again. He starts off as just organs. The more blood he has, or is given, or he can drink, or what have you, will just make him transition back into being a human being. And then, of course, you've got the Cenobites who have actually done this to him in the first place, and that's Pinhead and the crew. Most of you all know Hellraiser, but I love it. It's one of the best horror movies ever made, I think. Got some good performances in there, like Doug Bradley as Pinhead, Ashley Lawrence as Kirsty's really good. She's a good protagonist, and yeah, it's really enjoyable. Julia's a good character too, good villainess. Yeah, Hellraiser, can't go wrong with Hellraiser. Such a good horror movie. It's simple, quite short. It's about 95 minutes, I think, 93 minutes. It just gets to it. Amazing special effects, great story, really good. Can't wait to check out the sequels out of the Arrow set as well. I watched this too. This is just a random one I just stuck on streaming on the BBC iPlayer. And that's Tabby McTat, and it's based on a book. Don't know this book, might have been around when I was a bit older. It's based on a children's book. It's a sort of, it was like a animation made to kind of look a bit like clay animation, but also CGI, like a mashup. It was okay for what it was. I gave it like 2.5 out of 5 because it's not my type of thing anyway. But it was quite nice and simple, and just about a cat and his friend, who's a guy who plays the guitar, and they both sing together. So just a sort of cute little animation. Not my cup of tea at all. I just watched it. It's about half an hour long. That's from 2023 as well, Tabby McTat. Last film I watched in December is The Mean One, which I did mention at the beginning here. So as you can see there, the Grinch looks great, almost like into Jim Carrey's interpretation of it, same sort of costume. The film itself, a load of rubbish. I actually wrote a review here as well, which is on Letterboxd. I gave it 2 stars out of 5. I thought David Howard Thornton as the Grinch, the mean one, was great. He did all right, but the rest of the film around the Grinch was boring, just run of the mill. Didn't really tie into the Grinch story too much. I mean, there was elements there, obviously, and things that were like a catalyst to get to the carnage with the Grinch himself. He's not called the Grinch in this, obviously, due to licensing and copyright purposes, but he's called the Mean One. But it is the Grinch. You can see it's got a really cool cover there. I love the idea, a horror version of the Grinch. I think it's much better than the idea of Winnie the Pooh, and better than better idea than the Mickey Mouse one that's coming out, the Mickey Mouse Trap or whatever it's called. Yeah, I really like the idea of doing a horror version of the Grinch. It just wasn't done very well. It could have done with a bit more of a budget. It's not the lowest budget film out there, but it's pretty low budget, I'd say, from looking at it. The Grinch looked great. Some of the kills were pretty good, pretty gory, pretty gruesome. Just as a whole, they didn't like the film. Not got a problem with the Grinch character in the film. Thought he was great. The actor did a great job too, as he does with Art the Clown in Terrifier. It's just everything outside of the Grinch was boring, really monotonous. I found myself looking at my phone when the Grinch wasn't on screen, and then when the Grinch would appear on screen to rain havoc, I'd be like, oh, the Grinch stuff's on. So I'd sit and watch it, and then otherwise I'd just sort of listen to it and look at my phone. Didn't hold my attention overall though, so quite disappointed with the Mean One, but I never even heard any good things to begin with, so I just wanted to give it a go. So that's all my December watches. That's what I watched in December. Still need to watch some films from last year, like Thanksgiving, I've not seen yet, and is it When Evil Lurks on Shudder? I need to get to that, and I need to watch the rest of the Hellraiser films in the Arrow Quartet of Torment set. That's my monthly watch video anyway. There they all are. Thanks for listening. And what did you watch recently? Drop a comment or what have you, and yeah, we can have a little chat about it or what have you. But they're my watches for December anyway, and I'll be back next month with this show, like this sort of what I watched. I've decided, like I said at the beginning, it was called Letterboxd Diaries. I've decided just to sort of rename it What I Watched. Very simple, straight to the point, just what I watched is what it's called now. So it's still the Letterboxd Diaries basically. It's just I wanted to like shake things up a little bit, so I thought I'd call it What I Watched. Just simplify it a little bit. So it basically is, it tells you what it is rather than, because Letterboxd Diaries could mean anything. Anyway, that's me done with this one. Thanks for watching and listening. I did put, before I go, I did put a poll out for you guys to, you pick what I watch basically, and I'll review it. And the poll's still up, so you can still vote on it. So far, it looks like by 2%, so a very small margin, but what's it called? Rasputin the Mad Monk is actually the winner at the moment. I mean, that could change. I'll keep the poll going for a couple of days. Then I'll do watch the film and do the review. So it looks like it's going to be Rasputin the Mad Monk, unless that changes. So anyway, that's me done now. Thanks a lot. Bye.